There are no medals or solemn commendations awarded for tracking and chasing shadows back through time, and in her own time many moons have waxed and waned, and artificial decades have left their faint impressions upon the sponge-like surface of the earth. But the shadows come to her unbidden now, dipping, diving, racing towards her as she lies prone. You know, it was the measuring out of time that did for me, she sighs inwardly, as a baby is pushed against its will into sterile waiting hands, and all the while the rain falls upon the sodium-bathed streets outside, here in the unreal city of her forming. But she does not settle long within this process of uncanny alchemy. Animus and spiritus, birth and rebirth, waking state and dream state. Rising now into the realm of the one mind, she finds herself swooping over industrial-scale farmlands, dropping down to follow the winding path of curving lanes. She becomes the rain, adding to the surface water that rises up and spills over the grates of the full-to-bursting storm drains. And her mind transforms again, assumes the vantage point of a child in a lamplit room. Momentarily, in the moment, she sits within the child's eyes as they peer out into the night, projecting thrilling, fearful imagery upon the silhouetted clump of trees that edge the distant hills. This precious fleeting moment passes, and out from within the childhood eyes she rises, and finds herself now, as moon dips, sun rises, and rain slows to drizzle, upon a uniform grey station platform, somewhere in the faceless hinterlands. Inexplicably, her focus shifts to a cocksure lad as he boards the train and makes a waiting seat his own. Another offering to the city's yawning gods, she muses, and her sleeping self smiles wryly. Time jumps again abruptly as she witnesses the cocky boy's return, but older now, and long made weary, tired eyes drooping, head lolling with the motion of the train, as a new brace of cocksure lads laugh and bray about him. And across the aisle, a vaguely familiar lady stares blankly straight ahead. Perhaps she mourns her own passing, the sleeping lady ponders, for I bet she too was cocky in her own way, back when she mistook her work life for some kind of liberation. Swooping now, to when young minds longed for words to express their bursting hearts, running full pelt over the brow of a hill. A young girl's whooping laughter rings across the curved surface of the domed sky, laughter that steadfastly fails to penetrate the armour of the passing train. Now, jump cut, to a half-forgotten magical moment as the three girls grip tight to each other's hands and close their eyes to reach the other side of the moonlit graveyard. What became, she ponders, of that which once seemed so eternal? Time picked them off, I think, one by one, like tin ducks at a fun fair. Sponge-like surface, as the earth pushes the impressions out again. For it was herself, she realises now, who sat with blank-faced eyes upon the train not so many years ago. Time is the tyrant, she whispers in her sleep. Time is the pitiless tyrant that does for us all, when at last we reach the final count. And with the realisation, time constricts again. It flips and concertinas in, folds itself back into its own collapsible box. No more waxing, waning moon for me, it seems. No more marking down allotted time in artificial markers. For there are new eternal tales to tell, new myths to weave from out of stardust, truths formerly forbidden under time's totalitarian stranglehold. For she is finally now freed from all that exhausting, never-ending reflecting back and projecting forward, shorn of all the baggage, and in particular that backpack she carried, weighed down with prejudices, regrets, and bitter hopes that never reached fruition. Free of all that came before and all the days to follow, freed from the manacles of time, she rises, and unification breaks the spell of false division. The coagulation brings the black and white and young and old, the sun and moon, the night and day, the waking, unwaking, the birth and death, the dreaming and the undreaming, all moulds and melds together as once again the secrets of eternity are unfolded for another soul. And she rises this time, not solely in her mind, but in her entirety. And the patiently waiting, sterile hands reverse and unglove. The praying hands pull apart, and the rain stops falling upon the tarmac streets, as laughter cracks the dome-like sky, and a child turns away from the window, switches off the bedside lamp, and all the shadows that tracked and traced through time are finally laid to rest.